Um, let's, Ali, I know that you were supposed to speak at a conference in Germany a few days ago. Tell us about what happened.
Right. I was invited to speak at a conference in Berlin, the capital of Germany. And it's a conference that was organized by members of the Palestinian community. There's a very large Palestinian community in Germany, and members of the Jewish community, including a group called Jewish Voice for Peace, a German group. There's, of course, similar group in the United States and in other countries as well. And I was among a number of speakers. Others included Ghassan Abu Sittah, the surgeon, the doctor who spent the first 45 days of the genocide saving lives in Gaza, and Salman Abu Sittah. You've heard that name, that family name, Abu Sittah, on this show earlier today when we were trying to speak with Dunya Abu Sittah, and you've heard it previously because the Abu Sittahs are a large family whose land was stolen from them when they were ethnically cleansed in 1948, and their land has now been turned into so-called kibbutzes in the Gaza envelope. And Salman Abu Sittah is in his 80s. He's a Nakba survivor. Now, prior to the conference, there were all sorts of threats from the German government that they would ban it. They didn't ban it, at least not for the first 45 minutes, but then they literally stormed the conference. And we actually have some videos I can show very quickly. Tamara, let's take a look at video number 1, if we can. And this is outside the building, and it was a private venue where the conference was being held in the Tempelhof district of Berlin. And you can see the heavy police presence. And if we jump to video number 2, that actually shows the moment where people are shocked. We can put the sound on. Let's put the sound on. What? And that's sort of the moment the police. I think that's it for that one.
And that was during Salman Abu Sittah's testimony.
Right. Salman Abu Sittah was speaking by video, and actually it was a recorded speech, and then he was due to join by Zoom for a live Q&A. He didn't travel to Germany, and they cut him off a minute into his speech. Salman Abu Sittah is an extremely dignified elder. He was speaking about what was happening in Gaza, and the police raided it, and then they actually cut the electricity off to the conference hall. I mean, Israeli-style tactics from the German stormtroopers, from the Gestapo, let's call them. And then we can go to number 3, Tamara, and this, we'll just play a little bit of this because it's a long video. This is just a few seconds of Dr. Ghassan Abu Sittah talking about what happened to him.
Is Dr. Ghassan Abu Sittah. I've just returned from Germany, where I had been prevented from entering the country for attending a conference in Germany to give evidence on the war in Gaza and my witness statement as a doctor working in its hospitals. So this morning...
Yeah, and then he goes on to explain what happened. He flew from the UK. And by the way, Dr. Ghassan Abu Sittah has just been elected as the rector of, I think, is it Glasgow University?
So.
University of Glasgow in Scotland. So, and he's a British citizen. He was flying from the UK. He was detained at the airport in Berlin. He says he was interrogated for 3 hours and then told that he would not be permitted to enter Germany, that there was a complete ban on him entering Germany for the month of April. And he was told by the Germans that if he were even to send a video speech or try to participate remotely by Zoom, he would be breaching German law, and he could face up to a year in prison, which is extraordinary. And then let's go to 3B, Tamara. This is a tweet that I posted. But what it shows is a translation from Die Stern, which is a well-known German news publication, which, of course, Die Stern, like most of the German media, has spent weeks inciting against the conference, lying that it's a hate fest, an anti-Jewish hate fest. And you can see there that according to the information that Die Stern had received, entry bans had been instituted against Salman Abu Sittah and Ghassan Abu Sittah. And it says there for a third speaker, Ali Abunimah, an entry ban is currently being examined. I have no doubt that had I landed in Germany, I would have been prevented from entering the country. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to speak by Zoom because the Germans prohibited the conference, and they told the organizers, because I was asking the organizers after that police raid which shut down the conference and turned off the electricity, will we be able to continue online? And what I learned is the German police had said that if they even tried to continue the conference online, they would face criminal penalties in Germany. So this is what they're doing in Germany, which purports to be the country that has learned the lessons of history. They are sending in jackbooted thugs to shut down a conference against genocide. They're sending in stormtroopers to stop an 86-year-old man bearing witness to the ethnic cleansing that he personally survived and went through, to shut down a doctor, Dr. Ghassan Abu Sittah, who is giving evidence of the genocide. And another person who was participating in the conference or was scheduled to participate in the conference is Yanis Varoufakis, the former Greek finance minister, the head of the Democracy in Europe movement, DiEM25. And he was actually handed a ban by German authorities on all political activity in Germany. I'm not sure how long that ban lasts. He put out a statement on it, but he was prohibited from giving any sort of speech anywhere in Germany, including by Zoom or what we're doing now remotely. This is the level of repression in Europe. It is absolutely extraordinary.
It's incredible. And it just reminds me, like, this is not the first time that you were, that a conference like this was, that you were a part of was shut down. I remember, I don't know, time is hard to measure, but maybe 6 years ago, maybe you and Max Blumenthal were in Germany.
No, that was David Sheen.
Oh, that was David Sheen.
David Sheen
okay.
and Max Blumenthal, and they were supposed to speak at a theater in Berlin, and that was shut down. And in effect, you cannot hold any public event related to Palestine in Germany. And the next day, over that weekend, because I was supposed to speak on Saturday, but Sunday, Monday, people went out into the streets in Berlin to protest this repression, and they were beaten up and arrested by police. So this is European democracy. This is the West. These are the values of the West. This is what they're telling us they're defending. These are their values. Jackbooted thugs to stop people from talking about genocide.
Yeah.
It's again like the Saudi planes and the Jordanian planes participating in defending Israel. I can't wrap my head around what's happening in Germany.
Like John said earlier about the Iranian military response to the Israeli attack on Iran, that it was a glimpse of the future coming towards us. I mean, I think this is also a glimpse of the future coming towards us, a glimpse of Europe's future. Europe, including Britain, although it's not part of the EU, it's still part of the continent of Europe. Is increasingly demolishing its own democratic structures, such as they are, and what kind of vestiges there are of free speech in order to, by this stage, just support and prop up an open genocide in the Gaza Strip.
Yeah, and if you think about it, what's the significance of us? I mean, sure, we were going to have the conference in Berlin, but they can't allow any dissent. The point is, you know, they're not storming newspaper offices or shutting down TV channels because they don't have to. There is no very little free discussion of this in European media. I would say the United States is almost better than Europe at this point.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
which is shocking. I mean, that's
Saying a
absolutely
lot.
shocking. But the other thing we
It's
still
true.
have, the other thing we still have in the United States for now is the First Amendment, and they don't have that anywhere in Europe. Of course, that doesn't. I'm not trying to present a rosy picture. There's tons of censorship in the United States. We were talking about this tech censorship, for example, the self-censorship we have to do because it's done through YouTube and Google and Facebook and what have you, and of course through institutions like universities and so on. But the idea of the police storming a conference and shutting it down is not one we have quite yet in the United States.
Yeah, it may be coming. Absolutely.
Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit like, leave a comment. These engagements help us with the YouTube algorithm, and it helps us to get around Silicon Valley censorship as much as possible. It does make a difference. You can also support our journalism by going to electronicintifada.net and clicking on donate now. Thank you.